When you are new to YouTube, no one, and unfortunately I mean no one, knows who you are.
You may have heard, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Just focus on making the best videos and the whole world will open up to you.
Exactly. I want to focus on what makes my viewers happy, and I don't really care what competition is doing. I want everyone here relentlessly obsessed over how do we make a video as good as possible and make the viewers as happy as possible.
Yeah.
And again, there are so many people I know who stop themselves from starting a YouTube channel or a website or a business because they're thinking, oh, I don't know how to do this thing. But it's like, it's not, I don't know how to do this thing. It's, I don't know how to do this thing yet, but I can figure it out because I can go on the internet and just learn the thing, because you can learn absolutely anything on the internet. And this is something that really, being a YouTuber over the last 4 years, has helped me realize and fully internalize. Like, I cannot imagine ever being in a situation now where I feel, oh my God, I don't know how to do this thing, therefore I won't do it. I'm always gonna think to myself, I don't know how to do this thing yet. I will figure it out. And if I'm good enough having figured it out, then I will do the thing. So that's another life lesson.
Answer a few questions. Who is your YouTube channel actually for? The mistake a lot of people make is that if you try and reach everybody, you'll end up reaching nobody. And then what? What problem does my YouTube channel solve? Who's my channel for? People that want to get into fishing. What problem does it solve? People that want to know fishing poles, lures, things like that. Okay, I'm gonna make a video and I'm going to review the top 5 lures for catching bass fish. And therefore, before you even start, you're making a plan, right? You may have heard, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Where does this channel go
Of course.
in 5 years?
Bro,
Like,
I've got at least 20 years left. This is easy.
what does it look like? Do you get to 1 billion views a video at
I
some
don't
point?
know.
Like,
Here's the thing. Fuck stats. We're going to make the best videos possible. And
Yeah.
I'll get what I want if I do that.
You know, that's something you said to us maybe 4 years ago. You said, just focus on making the best videos and the whole world will open up to you.
Exactly.
And I think that's some of the best.
Look where I'm at.
I'm going to say, I think that's some of the best advice we've gotten as not only
Bro, I'm the only one
YouTubers.
to this day that still says this.
Yeah.
Everyone's all about everything else. I'm like, literally, I'm up here getting like 10 times more views than everyone else.
Yeah.
And I'm just going, just make great videos. Just obsess over
Yeah.
what people want and give them what they want.
But I think it is like you get a taste of a little bit of success and then you're like, I'm going to launch all of these things.
Yeah.
And now I can't focus on making videos, you know?
Yeah, I
And,
suffered from
like,
that a little bit.
Yeah, that happens, right? Like to
Yeah.
creators, I think what we see is creators like balloon out like this and then the best ones refocus.
Yeah.
Right? They come back, they're like, wait a second.
This is what matters.
Wait
yeah.
a second. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we're experiencing that right now, you know, where it's like, wait a second. We got to refocus, you know,
Yeah.
like this is what matters the most. This unlocks the world.
I love it.
Common fear, and we all have it, and it's just the first thing you have to get over. Basically, no one cares. Stop deluding yourself into thinking that people are thinking about you, because everyone is just worried about themselves. They're worried about how they are appearing to other people. There's this thing in psychology called the spotlight effect, which is that we all walk through life thinking that there is a spotlight trained on us, and just not realizing that everyone else is absorbed in their own life, and we are only the heroes of our own story, and we are supporting cast in everyone else's story if they're even thinking about us at all. So start your YouTube channel. Do not worry about what people will think. 99% of the fear is in just before you publish your first video. But I promise you, as soon as you hit publish on that video, 99% of the fear will disappear and you will stop worrying what people think.
What I always recommend is the strongest call to action is to watch another video. Because now all of a sudden your channel went from like, say 8 minutes of watch time to 16 minutes of watch time if they watch another one. And it shows that this person is in your little watch web. It also gives you another ad impression. Like that is the metric that YouTube cares about. Sure, you can ask them to comment, you can ask them to like, that's totally fine. But watching another video exposes them to more of your content and shows YouTube, I am a channel that keeps people on this platform for 16 minutes rather than just 8 minutes.
Point number 8, we have don't worry about the numbers. Once you've started on YouTube, this is a mistake everyone makes, is that you way too focused on the analytics. But at the start, like, it doesn't really matter. The only thing you have to do is just keep on producing more and more and more videos and not really worry about the fact that no one is watching them and that you're not getting very many subscribers. If you look at the stats, according to TubeBuddy, the average channel with 1,000 to 10,000 subscribers has made 152 videos. So until you've made 152 videos, you do not have the right to complain that you're not growing on YouTube. You have to make 152 videos first, and then we can think about how to tweak your growth prospects on YouTube.
Somebody who's just starting out on YouTube, because you have so much to learn. But let's explore that in a little bit more detail. When you are new to YouTube, no one, and unfortunately I mean no one, knows who you are, including YouTube's recommendation system, otherwise known as the algorithm. The more videos you make, the more YouTube will understand about your videos and how they relate to other videos that viewers are watching. So I would suggest for the average channel in your first 6 months, aiming to make between 25 and 50 videos. And the first thing I will guarantee when you meet this quantity milestone is that you'll look back on your first video and say, "Geesh!" From a YouTube recommendation discovery algorithm perspective, it will start to understand whether you are a creator of cat videos, gardening, cryptocurrency investing.
There's only 3 things that YouTube cares about when it comes to growing a YouTube channel. And if you can get these 3 things right, then you're completely off to the races and your channel will explode and you'll become a millionaire. And those 3 things are number 1, click. Number 2, watch time. And number 3, satisfaction. So firstly, the click. This is the importance of titles and thumbnails and idea generation and concept. No one is ever going to watch your video unless they click on your video. And so the first step to success on YouTube is earning the click. Your titles and thumbnails and concepts need to be sufficiently intriguing that someone actually clicks on the video. Secondly, we have watch time. Now, the YouTube algorithm cares a lot about how much of your video someone has watched, because the YouTube algorithm is ultimately trying to serve the right video to the right viewer at the right time. And so if a viewer is watching a lot of your video, it means they're getting continuous value from that video. And so watch time is a great signal for the algorithm to then promote your video to more people that are similar to that viewer that watched it for a long time. So
now in 2021 when you started this.
Yeah. So when you're starting a channel, the biggest mistake everyone makes is they launch the channel with nothing on it or just one video. Don't do that. Dude, come on, guys. Think about it this way, right? Watch time matters. And so if you're telling people, go watch this thing, and there's nothing for them to watch, or there's nothing for them to like latch onto, you're telling YouTube, this is a channel that isn't going to retain people very long. And so when we launch a channel, we launch it with 5 videos. That is a hard and fast rule for us, so that way people go on a significant watch time journey in that first week period, so that way it tells YouTube, wow, this is a great channel that's going to get people to watch and they're going to be really engaged. So immediately you're jumpstarting the channel from 0 to 100 as opposed to 0 to like 10%, 15%, then maybe I get around to that next video. And it shows your audience that you're committed to it too.
The problem is, and it's weird because you wouldn't think I would say this, but it's like, even when I first started, I always wondered why people didn't put more effort into their content, why people didn't spend more money, or why people didn't try harder. And so again, like I said before with the entrepreneurs, I like to take little nuggets here and there. There are things I liked about people, like PewDiePie. He was the biggest creator in the world at that time for a very long time, but he was still very humble. And that was cool to see that this guy is just destroying everyone on all metrics, but is not like an asshole. Like, he's being very humble and he's being very chill about it. And even when people would attack him, he could very easily be like, shut up. Like, you have 1% of my subscribers, but he wouldn't. He would never like do stuff like that. So like, that was something I very admired about him. And there's traits like that in other creators. But ultimately at the end of the day, I always like what I'm doing now. I always wondered back then, why were people not doing it? And so I never really had someone who I was like, that's who I want to be. I was always just confused. Like, what are you doing?
Why more people aren't?
Why don't you just try?
Yeah.
Why don't you put effort in?
Yeah.
At least understand that even when you're entertaining, you're not the hero. Make the audience member the hero. When you're writing, when you're blogging, when you're cutting a quick thing for freaking Instagram or whatever. Why is it you're doing this? If the reason people have influence, and we call them influencers, is because they somehow are making the other person the hero. And Donald Miller's he's got that dialed in. So make them the hero, be funny, tell stories, have a passion about what it is, the piece of content you're putting out, that it really matters to you. You go back to Shay Carl way back in the day. I mean, he has a passion for family.
Start a YouTube mastermind with at least one other creator and aim to meet for at least once a week for 2 hours. Mr. Beast attributes much of his success on having a close-knit group of friends who are obsessed with YouTube just as much as he is. And a big part of it was the power of learning from each other's mistakes and victories.
You mess up, you learn from your mistake. You in 2 years, might have learned from 20 mistakes. Or if you have like 4 other people who are also messing up, and when they learn from the mistake, they teach you what they learned. You 2 years down the road have learned like 5 times more of the amount of stuff. So it just like helps you grow exponentially way quicker.
And so they were all in this together, studying what makes a good video on YouTube, comparing thousands of thumbnails and figuring out what makes people continue watching videos, generally nerding out on YouTube every single day.
We all had like 10, 20,000. honestly, uploading less videos and just making them better. It's much easier to get 5 million views on one video than 50,000 views on 100 videos. It takes way less effort to get 5 million views on one video. So it's like applying a lot of these principles like that